That's a nice fairy tale, but Wakanda is a third world country, and you stole all their vibranium.
I stole. I took a tiny piece of it.
Vibranium isn't just a metal, it's the heart of Wakanda, a resource so powerful that it can change the balance of the entire world. Unlike ordinary metals, vibranium can absorb and store energy. A bullet, a punch, or even an explosion, vibranium takes that force and holds it instead of breaking. That's what makes Captain America's shield indestructible, what powers Black Panther's suit, and why vibranium has been one of the most fought-over resources in Marvel history. But here's the question: what happens if you steal vibranium? The short answer is this: you don't get rich, you don't retire in peace, you don't walk away free. Instead, history in both the comics and the Marvel Cinematic Universe shows us the same ending again and again. You get hunted, you get betrayed, or you get destroyed. Now stay with me as we break this down. We'll look at the long history of vibranium thieves and the punishment that followed them. And most importantly, we'll walk you through what would happen if someone dared to steal vibranium today. Let's break this down. The most famous thief of vibranium is Ulysses Klaue, better known as Klaue. In the comics, he broke into Wakanda to steal vibranium and used it to power his experimental sonic weapon. That weapon backfired, and Klaue was transformed into a being of solid sound, forever mutated by the very thing he tried to control. His life after that was nothing but battles with the Black Panther and other heroes, trapped in a cycle of violence caused by his original theft. In the MCU, Klaue also manages to steal vibranium in the 1990s, smuggling it out of Wakanda. Years later, he sells part of his stockpile to Ultron. That deal alone nearly doomed humanity, because Ultron used vibranium to build a new body and create a weapon that could wipe out the entire planet. And what happened to Klaue? He was hunted by Wakanda, targeted by the Avengers, and eventually killed by Killmonger, who used him as nothing more than a pawn. His story is proof: even if you steal vibranium successfully, your days are numbered. Killmonger himself also relied on stolen vibranium and stolen Wakandan artifacts. In Black Panther, he retrieves vibranium relics disguised as museum pieces and uses them as tools in his plan to challenge the throne. Killmonger does gain power, even managing to become king of Wakanda for a short time, but his rise is violent, his rule unstable, and his end inevitable. The power vibranium gave him came at the cost of his life. These are not isolated cases. The same pattern repeats across Marvel history. People who try to steal vibranium end up destroyed by it, or by the forces determined to reclaim it. That brings us to one of Wakanda's most secretive but most important defenses: the War Dogs, also known as the Hatut-Zeraze. They are Wakanda's network of spies and covert operatives. Their mission often focuses on a single task: track down and retrieve vibranium artifacts stolen from Wakanda. The War Dogs are not just soldiers, they are trained infiltrators, assassins, and agents who move across the world to protect Wakanda's most valuable resource. They work in the shadows, blending into other nations, watching, listening, and striking only when necessary. If you steal vibranium, you can be certain that War Dogs are already following your trail. Marvel's new series, Eyes of Wakanda, gives us a look at how serious this mission really is to the people of Wakanda. Each episode tells the story of War Dogs across different centuries, retrieving artifacts that were stolen from Wakanda long ago. In one story, set in 1260 BC, a Wakandan outcast named Nkati, once a war dog himself, betrays his people and steals dozens of vibranium relics. He uses them to crown himself as the Lion, building a cult around stolen Wakandan power. But his theft sparks centuries of conflict and pursuit. Wakanda does not forgive or forget, and the War Dogs make it their duty to hunt down every artifact, no matter how long it takes. The second episode also gave us the story of Memnon, a Wakandan war dog who went undercover during the Trojan War to retrieve a stolen vibranium artifact. He fought for years beside Achilles, earning his trust, but when the time came, he turned against him to secure the necklace for Wakanda. In the end, Memnon killed Achilles and returned the artifact home, proving once again that anyone who steals vibranium, no matter how powerful, will eventually fall. In 1896, during the First Italo-Ethiopian War, we see Prince Tafari and the war dog Kuda retrieve a vibranium axe. Even in the chaos of battle, their mission is not to conquer but to secure the artifact, because Wakanda knows exactly what can happen if vibranium falls into the wrong hands. What these examples tell us is simple. Vibranium theft is not just a one-time crime, it creates ripples across centuries. Every artifact stolen becomes a mission, every mission becomes a story, and every story ends with Wakanda reclaiming what is theirs or destroying it to make sure no one else can use it. Now let's talk about our current timeline. If you steal vibranium today, here's what will happen. First, you become a target. Wakanda has eyes and ears everywhere. The Dora Milaje may hunt you openly, while the war dogs move in silence. Even the Avengers have joined the fight to stop vibranium thefts. Your name goes on a list, and once that happens, there is no escape. Second, you will struggle to use it. Vibranium is not like gold or diamonds. You can't just melt it down or sell it at a pawn shop. Raw vibranium is unstable, and without Wakandan technology, it is nearly impossible to shape or control safely. More often than not, criminals who experiment with vibranium end up blowing themselves apart or creating weapons so unstable they self-destruct. Third, you invite global chaos. The moment vibranium enters the black market, nations, corporations, and warlords take notice. Governments will try to buy it, steal it, or kill you for it. You will be caught between superpowers, mercenaries, and Wakanda's wrath. Holding vibranium doesn't make you powerful, it makes you the weakest link in a chain of predators. Finally, there is the moral cost. Wakanda doesn't just see vibranium as a resource, it is their heritage, their identity, their history. Stealing vibranium is stealing culture, pride, and sovereignty. For Wakandans, retrieving a stolen artifact is about more than security, it is about justice. That is why the war dogs risk everything to bring artifacts home. So, now you know. Stealing vibranium isn't just dangerous, it's a death sentence. If you steal vibranium, you won't just face soldiers, you'll face centuries of a people determined to protect their birthright. You'll face the danger of a metal you don't understand. You'll face betrayal from allies who see more value in selling you out. And if somehow you survive all of that, you'll still face the legacy of those who failed before you. Look at Klaue, whose greed made him a marked man. Look at Killmonger, whose ambition rose and fell with stolen artifacts. Look at centuries of thieves and conquerors who thought they could use vibranium for themselves, only to be crushed by the weight of Wakanda's response. Stealing vibranium doesn't buy you freedom, it lights a beacon. And every force Wakanda, heroes, villains, nations will come running. That is what happens when you steal vibranium. But let me ask you this, if vibranium was real and you found a way to get your hands on it, would you risk everything to keep it, or would you hand it back before Wakanda came knocking? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more content. See you in our next video.